Good evening. Hey, last algorithm. Hey, how you doing? Oh my word, it's warm. It's Wednesday. It is the final live stream in my live stream experiment on YouTube. That's not to say that this is going to be the final live stream on YouTube to date, but it is the last one in this series of the experiments that I've been doing this whole month. I believe it's my 5th live stream. Is that right? Man, that's crazy. So tonight, we are hopefully culminating the live stream series in finishing off actually getting the CNC running. I have done some test cuts using Carbide Create, and I gotta say I'm pretty excited about the results, right? So I think we need to do a little bit of a review of where we are to date, and then we're going to get into it because it is starting to get late and the router is loud, right? So I don't particularly want to upset my neighbors too much, right? So we'll get into this. So the CNC control box has had a complete rebuild. We've got a custom controller in there. Hey Chris, we got a custom controller in there running the Gerbil firmware. That has then been hooked up to the motion system, and at the moment the only thing that's connected to the motion system is the motors. None of the sensors or limit switches or anything like that is connected. So we're doing some manual homing, and we're doing manual control of the unit. Now, I've got a 1.5 kilowatt spindle motor to go into this machine, which is water cooled. It requires a VFD, which I don't have. And the VFD is not inexpensive. It's probably going to be between 60 and 120 pounds. Yeah, exactly. YOLO. And what I've been able to do is to mount my router into the mounting bracket for the spindle motor. But the problem with that is the router is actually smaller in diameter than the spindle motor. So I had to design and print a bracket or an adapter which went around the router, and that then allows it to drop in. So, with that said, here are some of the results that I've been able to get with the machine so far. So the first one, neurobio-assisted homing. Yeah, right? Not wrong there. So I think it's this one. Right. So I've been able to do this cut with a 6.5 millimeter router bit. I don't think that was too bad at all. The second one, which is more in alignment with what I wanted. I only wanted a very shallow depth of the cut itself. So that's what I wanted to do right there. Pretty pleased with that. So those are just using like 2D operations for text and contour just to cut these out. So I decided that I was going to design something in Fusion 360, and I was going to cut it out. But I didn't use Fusion's engine to generate the G-code. I brought that into Carbide Create, and I used 2D operations to create a box. And this is the box that I made. So this is actually made out of 2 different materials. For the lower material is pine. It's a construction beam which we're going to see in a minute when we go downstairs to the laser shed. And in fact, we're going to have to... It's just occurred to me, we're going to have to rename the laser shed because it's no longer the laser shed because we've got a CNC in there as well. We're going to have to figure out what we're going to call that from now on. But anyway, so the lower part of the box is in pine. The other part of the box is some sort of hardwood. I'm not sure what type. The machine shop, right? This was actually a piece of pallet wood. And if I open the box, you can see we've cored out the inside of the box itself. We've cored out the top, but we've also generated this lip that fits inside the box. And can I is it this way? Yeah. It's pretty snug. It's not super tight. I've given it like a half a millimeter tolerance or clearance around the edge, which allows it to fit in quite nicely. But yeah, I think I'd like it to be a bit more of a compression fit. Yeah, it is. It is. And I don't have my secondary light. We're not going to spend too much time up here tonight. We're going to actually get down into the laser shed, which is an absolute mess. Yes, we're going to get in there and we're going to run the machine. So hopefully my audio is going to hold up tonight. I'm actually using a lavalier mic tonight. And the audio will be coming from my lavalier when I'm down in the machine shop. So it might be slightly out of sync when we get down there. There isn't a great deal I can do about that, but it is what it is. So let's get into what we're going to do tonight. So I bought myself some bits because I wanted to give myself a little bit of a challenge. I want to start using different types of router bits to make maybe signs, some boxes. So I bought myself some V-bits. Let's have a look. Is this a V-bit? And some roundover bits. So this is a roundover bit. Right, so that's a roundover bit. And I've got 3 different sizes of roundover bit. And I've also got 3 different sizes of 90-degree V-bits. I've also got myself some PCB etching V-bits as well. Now, it's a 1/4-inch router that I've got. So these bits won't natively fit into the router, but I've got a collet adapter. So these are going to be used for like really fine detail engraving, and also I'm going to be making some PCBs. Ooh, no more nasty chemicals, possibly. We'll see how that works out. So I decided with all these bits and pieces that I've got, I realistically need some way of keeping them nice, neat, and tidy and not lose them. Because if you know me, you know I've got workshop gremlins. So what I decided to do was to design a box that will take the bits, and it'd be a nice job for the CNC to do, and it gives me a good use case to get into Fusion 360 and get this to actually make the part, right, using its G-code generator. So one of the things I'm going to suppress in this drawing is this fillet here. So I'm just going to right click and suppress the feature. I'm just going to give it a square edge just because I don't actually have a bit that can give me that contour without having steps. So I've never used Fusion 360's G-code generator before, and I tried using it last night, and let's just say it didn't work out. And we'll talk about that when we're down in the laser shed. Let's crack on and get this working, right? So we go into from the design section in Fusion, and we go down into the manufacture. And we've got a setup here. Essentially, you set up the stock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the, I'm just going to change the 0 point on this stock. And then we're going to work through the operations because there's some errors that I've just noticed. So I'm going to put the 0 point or the origin of the job down here in the bottom corner. Right, so that's down there. And I'm going to click OK to that. The first job we're going to do is we're going to, in fact, let's cancel that. We're going to delete these jobs. We're going to recreate them from scratch. So let's go delete. I hope this works now. Delete and delete. Yeah, remind me to save. Get me to save. Okay. So we just deleted those jobs. Let's do what Frank says, and we're gonna save. So the first operation we're gonna do is a facing operation, and the reason we're gonna do a facing operation is I know the material is thicker than the object that I'm using. And by facing it, we're actually going to get a nice surface finish on the piece. Hey, Carol, how are you? Welcome into stream. So I've selected the face, and now I've got to choose the face or contour that I'm going to use to face. So it's going to be this one. All right. And let's have a look. We're going to choose a tool, and we're going to select the tool that I've created, which reflects the tool that I have that I've created. Or sorry, it reflects the tool that I've got in the router. I'm not a machine tool maker, so there is the tool. The next thing we've got to select is the faces. So let's have a quick look at these. These things have confused the absolute hell out of me, right? So the bottom is the face of the model, where the tool is literally going to finish. I'm doing good, thank you. So that's the first thing, right? So we're gonna go from the bottom. The top height, well, we're gonna go, I'm going to put the top height 5 millimeters above the stock top because I don't know. Yes, I understand. I just want to give it a little bit of clearance in terms of its motions because I've had some very strange behavior. So let's see, the feed height is going to be top height plus 5. And then the retract height, we're going to make the retract height the feed height plus 5. And I mean, I'm just making sure these things don't cross over. Okay, so hopefully it likes it, right? So let's turn off our model and let's simulate that clearance, that facing job. So if I simulate it and then we press play, we get to see what the tool's going to do. It's just going to go backwards and forwards, and it's going to leave these two pieces on either side, which I'm not worried about right now. But what it's going to do is it's just going to flatten that surface out and just make sure it's spot on, which is what we want. Okay, so let us then turn the model back on, and then we're going to get into the next operation. And the next operation is we want to do a pocket. So I'm going to do a pocket, and now I'm going to select all of the faces. I have no idea what feed height is. I'm assuming it's to do with some sort of motion in between operations. I think. I don't know. Like I say, I've never used this before. So it's a first for me. Right, so I've selected all of the faces that we're gonna pocket. And then we're gonna say, we're gonna keep these items here the same. We're not gonna mess with those. But when we go to the layers, we're gonna do multiple passes. Let's have a look. We want multiple depths, and let's go 4mm depth drops each time. And then that job gets calculated out like so. We hit return, so that's... Is that what I wanted? I'm not sure if it is. We're gonna do... I think we're gonna do finishing passes. And we'll leave it at that. Just set that as the default finishing pass. Okay. So that's 2 operations. Why do some have arrows? So I think what we're seeing here is... I think we're seeing the pocket direction. I think we might be seeing the start. So this red one might be the start of the job. And it's going to go all the way around, and it'll finish on this one, which is the green arrow up. I think. Well, I think it is relevant. So let's simulate it, and let's see what it does. So let's play it. And we'll turn off our model, because we want to see and make sure that the motion that we're seeing is reflective of what's going on. So let's speed this up, because we don't want to be here all night watching a simulation. There you go, right? So we were right. So it goes down. So the red arrow indicates where it's going to plunge first, and the green arrow indicates where it's finishing. Okay, so that is our second pass, or second operation. All right, okay. Hey, Waffles, how you doing? Welcome in. We are going to be going down into the laser shed soon, right? We're gonna be going down here. We're gonna be running the machine. It's all very exciting. So much so that I clicked the wrong buttons. So let us do our final operation, which is to liberate this part. Yeah, the machine shop. The machine shop, damn you. We're going to liberate this part from its wooden shackles. Oh, I hear you, buddy. I sympathize. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a 2D operation, and we're going to do a 2D contour. And we're going to select this bottom edge. And I think that arrow replicates the direction of travel that it's going to take to cut this piece out. So, first things first, we want to go to our passes, and we want to do multiple depths. Multiple depths of 4mm like we saw previously. Do we have a finishing operation that we can check? I think we are okay. We're going to leave it at that. No idea if this is going to work. So let's let that calculate out. And I've noticed that we've got one problem. I wanted to leave tabs. So let's go back in and put some tabs in. So we're going to turn that off, disable that. Tabs. Okay. We're going to just use the default setting for tabs. I'm not really au fait with setting those up. So if we now simulate this last job and we hit play, we just should see it just, it's a little bit quick, but let's try that again. That's just a little bit slow. There we go. And round it goes. And I'm hoping this is going to be what we need. So I'm going to create 2 G-code files because I've had, well, let's just say I've had an interesting time trying to get things to do what they're told. But, we'll see what we can do. Right, so that's that operation. Let's close that up. Now we have to post-process this this setup, these series of operations. So if I right-click the setup and then choose post-process, we get this dialog box. And this dialog box allows us to configure how the G-code is going to be written. So the first thing I'm going to do is just select here. These are all the different types of machines that Fusion 360 can talk to. So we're going to go with Gerbil, which is the firmware. Ah, that's kind of strange. Okay, so we're going to call this router bit box. Okay. Now I'm going to click post. I'm going to open the folder where that exists, and I'm posting that file. We're going to save it. There we go. We've saved. So I am now going to copy that file onto my share drive. And then we're going to go downstairs to the laser shed, to the machine shop, and yeah, I'm going to put that there. Haha. Okay, so what I also want to do is I've got this file. I'm going to right click and save this. I'm going to use this for a registration. If we get time, we'll cut this out as well. There we go. Right then. So Cheap Deck is going to be coming with me because we're going to be controlling the stream from downstairs. Hopefully we get some decent audio. But we're going to go down here and I'm going to show you how like nasty this is set up. Right, guys, I'm going to go on mute for a moment and I'll see you in the machine shop. Okay. Can I get a mic check, please? Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? I'm looking at my VU meter. It seems to suggest everything is good. Right then. So here in my messy workshop, we have the control box. And it's hooked up to the motors. And the motors are mounted on the machine. So we've got a bit of construction material mounted just here. And I've got it screwed down to this MDF wasteboard. We've got a vacuum cleaner which we need to just plug in and set up. But other than that, we've got to zero things out. We've got to load files. There's a couple of things that we need to do. There's a couple of things we need to do in order to get this, up and running and actually cutting. So the first thing I want to do is to test the G-code to see whether or not Yeah, I see you. I see you. So yeah, I gotta make sure that the G-code is driving the router the way I expect it to, because things like this happen. It plunged the bits directly into the wood and decided to try and move. So unfortunately, it didn't work out. So we're gonna try and simulate things. Oh, it could be a lot better, Chris, let me tell you. So I've had to move stuff around. So here's my laser cutter with all my bits and pieces on. This place needs to be torn apart. But yeah, is what it is. So put you guys back to the CNC. Let's get you in a stable location. There we go, if there is such a thing. I'm going to turn power off to the control box, but I'm going to leave the Arduino controller powered. And we're just going to go over to the desktop. I just want to make sure you guys can see what I can see. Let's have a look. No, you can't. Right, okay. Well, not yet you can't. Anyway, let me just... Don't quite know why. There we go. There we go. So this is the universal G-code sender. And what we're going to do is we're going to load the file up. And we're going to... yeah, right? Except there's consequences with these sorts of mess ups. They removed the bit from the router if they weren't sure the code would work. I don't know. It might. But I'm all set up here right now, so I don't particularly want to start pulling things around. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to load the code first of all. So what do we call it? Router bit box. So here's the G-code that we just generated. And these are all the operations being visualized by the software. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to zero the machine. Well, I've literally just shut the machine off, so the motors aren't going to move right now. And we're just going to do a dry run of the G-code, and we're going to watch the visualization to see where the G-code actually sends the head. So if I reset 0, we'll see the 0 point is actually down here at the origin of the job. And the problem with that is that that's what, 40 mil deep into the piece of pine that we've got on the bench. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to instruct the machine to go 48 mil high. So we'll go G0, Z40, and we should see this little yellow arrow rise up out of the material. There we go. You're not wrong. I mean, it's very much like my my Delta print. That was just an absolute dream to watch. I'm actually gonna take this up to 50, right? 50, and we're totally clear from the material now. So what I want to do is I want to play the G-code and watch what this arrow does. Now, what I'm hoping for is to it and start doing the facing pass. What I have seen this do is drop down and then skim across the top. It's almost like it's like zeros the machine. So you might have to do a bit of G-code bashing to try and see if we can make this work. Because I want to get this like knocked out tonight if I can. So let's play the file and let's watch the arrow. What does it do? And it plunges. Then it moves. Well, that's gonna suck for us, right? Why does it do that? Then it goes all the way up to the top, and then it does its pass. Well, that's rubbish. Okay, so we'll send it back to its 0 point. But what we're going to do now, I think we need to take a look at the G-code and see whether or not we can actually, instruct it to do what we want it to. And in order to do that, we're going to open the G-code file with a notepad. We're going to write open with. We're going to open it with Notepad. It's less than ideal, but I'm just going to squiz across here. You can see what I'm doing, so that's fine. There we go. All right. So what do we got? Router bit box, machine, vendor, Autodesk, 623 access, G90, G94, G17, G21. Okay, so that's fine. So if I'm not mistaken, G28 is a homing command. So I think I need to get rid of that G28. I reckon if I bracket that out, that looks to be the commenting because there's text above it, right? So we'll just get rid of those lines. So G2891 Z0, that's G28 is a homing command. So let's file save as. Gonna go all files, and we're gonna go router bit box 1.nc. Okay. So let's see what that does when we load this up to the machine. So router bit box 1. file. In fact, we close. No, doesn't say that. Was that an edit there? Edit G-code file. Ooh, that I never saw that. That's interesting. So let's make sure we are actually reading the right file here. Yep, we are reading the correct file, so that's good. I like that. Right there. Return to the machine 0 point. Well, it doesn't, okay, so it doesn't home based upon the limit switches. But as you say, it returns to the 0 point. Which is not what we want it to do. So if I now instruct it to go 50 mil high, we go up. Now what I'm hoping when I play this, the machine just goes across to the other side and does its business. Oh, go on. This is what we want. Okay. Now gonna go up and then come back down and then do its clearing pass. Excellent, 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 excellent. So that's it. I'm really pleased. I am super, 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 super pleased. Green plus machine down. I don't. But I can switch between the two. I see what you're getting at, though. So I think we're close to actually running this. So do you guys want me to set up a picture-in-picture so that you can see the screen as it runs through the G-code? I can do that reasonably quickly. Oh, look, you can't say something like that. Right, okay, let's... we should go over to our face cam. Why are we not on face cam? Okay, I think Cheat Deck needs a reboot. We'll get this. You ask and you shall receive. There we go. Right, so if I now add... This is going to look a bit weird for a second. Now, I'm as close to the machine as I can possibly get you. How about that? From the machine shop. Okay, so you'll be able to see the G-code operate as well as everything running. Right, so here we go. So the first thing I want to do is I want to position the head. Don't worry too much about what I'm about to do because it won't make too much sense. But I'm syncing up the software with the machine positioning so we can start playing around with the machine. This is nice, right? I don't know if you're going to hear this. So Y200 go. Right, so that's now going to scoot off on its merry little way in the Y direction. And once that's done, we're going to power things up. Okay, so it's now 200 there. We're going to power up the... Right, so the motors have now got 24 volts and they're engaged. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise the route a bit. So G0... Z. I mean, how high do we need to be? Probably need to be another 10. Let's go another 20 mil. Might bottom out. No, we're good. Right, so now I'm going to tell the machine to go back to a Y position of 0, and it's going to bring the router up to this workpiece, and we're going to start looking at zeroing things in. The machine noise, motor noise at all. It's on the lavalier mic, so you might not. Okay, so what we're going to do now, this is what the machine thinks its 0 point is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring the router bit down to the 0 of the bed. Okay, so that does look like it needs to come down a touch. So I need an Allen key. I'm literally going to bottom out the router on the wasteboard. So this is, I mean, this would normally be taken up by limit switches. And because I don't have limit switches, I'm manually setting my 0 points. So this means that a job will take a little bit more time to set up, but it means that I can actually run the machine before it's really ready to be run. Right, so the router is now touching the wasteboard. I bottomed out the Z-axis. I'm now just going to tighten this up to clamp the router back in place. And the idea is going to be, I'll be making some designs with open source software so that I can start getting this machine to run and start earning some cash with the machine. Right, okay, so I'm now gonna return, no, I'm not gonna return to 0. I'm actually gonna set the 0 point. So now the machine thinks it's at its 0 point, which is actually over here. So what we're going to do is manually move the machine. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to bring that back down to a 0 point. I'm going to instruct the machine to come up 50. That's what I wanted. So we'll go, see, this is where things start getting a real head job if you're not careful. So we'll go Z50. So we now clear of the material. So it now thinks it's over its origin at 50 millimeters high. So we roll the machine into position, and I'm going to make sure that I don't catch these screws, because that would not be good. So because this is an open loop system, the machine does not know it's moving. It thinks it's in its 0 point. Let me just bring the x-axis over to the corner. I think that will do us nicely, just making sure we don't clip that screw. Alrighty, I think we're good right there. So I think what I need to do is just get this vacuum plugged in and get ready to make some chips. Not the kind you eat. I probably can, if I'm honest. I probably can, but all right, so this is going to be a noisy endeavor. Okay, so hearing protection, but I will need to mute the mic when we're running. So I'm not going to be able to watch chat while we run this job, but we'll see what happens, right? So I'm going to mute the mic and I'm just going to set the job off. If all being well, we complete the work. we're going to have to try and diagnose what's going on. And remember, right, we are operating the machine like off a bench. This is real Heath Robinson stuff. So muting the mic now. Okay, it would appear I might land up against the emergency stop. So yeah, I think I might need to start that again. Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to see if I can unlock it. One second. Well, at least we know the emergency start works. Unlock. It's got to be a means to. Got to be a means to. Oops. Yeah. So I have actually like physically cleared the alarm on the switch. Machine actions, unlock, get state, reset 0, soft reset. Ooh, do I want a soft reset? Let's try a soft reset and see what that does. Machine actions now unlock. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna see whether I can. Right. What do we reckon? Should I try and start the job from 0, or should I try and continue the job? What do we think? I'm thinking restart. Start the job from scratch. I think that's probably going to be the safest thing to do. Yeah, I agree. Right. Okay. So let's bring. Oh, it's kept its XY. It is kept XY. Yeah, the is still okay. So I think if I restart the job here, it will start from. Okay, if I'll load the file again. You're not wrong. Okay, I'm gonna try and just restart the machine from here. I've just reloaded the file. Let's crack on. So I'll remute because this thing is not quiet. this is, as you can probably tell, quite loud. But yeah, I think this is going to take a little while. So, I don't know if you can hear me at all, but yeah. Quite sure how well you can hear me. I'm just going to step outside so it dampens the noise a little bit. But yeah, that's the first hole of 12. So it would be nice if the feed rate was a little bit higher than it is. But we'll see how we get on. I think for the next job I need to up my feed rates. So are you guys getting my audio at all, or is it just noise? Okay, so I'm outside now. I'm actually going to go watch the machine through the window, so you can hear me a little bit better. It's a little bit of a challenge to get a decent camera shot of the machine, but I need to get some longer USB cables for the camera if we're going to be streaming out here more regularly. But we'll see how we get on. But yeah, I think I need to up my feed rate so that we get through these types of cuts a little bit quicker than we're currently getting through them. Okay, I've just paused the job. Chris, you just read my mind. Oh, and the fan on the 24-volt power supply has just kicked in. And it's just shut down. Awesome. Right, so the question I've got is, I think I can up the feed rate by probably... Double would probably be a bit too much, I think. But I think I can put it up by half again. So I think it's something like 1,000 millimeters per minute. Do we... What's the time now? 9:15. Do we try... That's a good question. I wish I could tell you. It's looking good. The route a bit, the route a bit tool that this is for, will actually drop down into the box so it does its job. So I think my coarse calibration, the coarse calibration of the machine is actually not that bad. Yeah, I agree. So what do we want to do? Should we increase the feed rate and see if we can get this machine running a bit faster? What do you reckon? We'll put it to a chat vote. Let's see what we get. I know, right? A dust boot is absolutely necessary in this case, I think. That is definitely going to be one of the upgrades. Vote yes, stop the count. Right, okay. So we'll stop the job. We'll take Z to 50. We'll bring it back to 0xy. And we'll go and change the feed rate and see whether or not we can plow through this a little bit quicker than it's currently doing. Right, leave the ear defenders down here. We'll take cheap deck. And we'll go on a bit of a wander back upstairs. Give me 2 ticks. Thank you. If UGS doesn't let me, it lets me scale, I don't know. Yeah, thanks, Chris. I need to get like some sound effects so you guys can grab my attention. So we're running a feed rate of 1,000 millimeters per minute. So what do we want to do? Should we double that? Should we go 2,000 millimeters a minute? Or should we go 1,500? Go half. Oh, let's see what this can do. Let's go 2,000. I mean, I have no idea, right? So 1,750, split the difference. Okay. Cutting data. 1750. Okay, we'll accept that. So it's going to update the pocket, the face and the pocket, apparently. Let's edit the tool for this. Okay, it's already done. Right. Let's post-process this. Comes out at 30 millimeters per second. It's actually quite slow. So do we want to go 2,000? What's the math? 2,000 divided by 60. 33. Yeah, let's go 2,000. We'll go 2,000. Oh, do we leave it as it is? Come on. We're running out of time. Right, we'll leave it as it is. Right click, let's post-process this. Gerber, we're gonna call this post, we'll post it. We're gonna go route bit box 2. We'll save that. Now we want to get rid of the G28 from the code. We'll copy that to the share drive first. There it is. Now, if I load it in Universal G-code sender here, I load the file there. Should come up in our visualizer. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Going to edit the G-code file. We're going to get rid of this G28 and this G90. Right, okay, so then we're going to save the file. Can I save it? File, save. All right. Let's go down and see if we can cut this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up the file here. Theory, that's it. Yeah, name is there. Let's check the G-code editor. Yep, we're good, we're good. Okay, let's start and let's see if we can cut this. Let's see how well this goes. I just had a thought. I've been a complete and utter clown. So I can shortcut this process and get us cutting quicker than sitting here waiting for this to go through the G-code. And that's to re-amend the G-code. Right, give me 1 second, guys. I should have thought of this before. I should have thought of this before. What I need to do is delete the face job. Edit this one. No, not edit tool. Get rid of the chains. Now we want this one. Yeah, right. I think okay. I don't think it's the millimeters per second that we are hitting a problem with right now. I think we're hitting a problem with the fact that we're hitting the machine acceleration limits. So it's not actually able to accelerate to the desired feed rate because the movements are so short before it changes direction. So I think on these square holes, we're going to see that as being a problem. Oh, listen, the stepper speed isn't a problem. This machine, when I command it to move up and down the bed, it moves. But the problem is that it's the acceleration curve from a starting point to its max speed, because the movements are so short, we're having a problem. That's what's going on. Right, so we've cut out the face, we've cut out the first two holes, and we're going to start with the third hole. So if we post-process now, we should be able to get straight into this and not have to wait. So post-process, we're going to go post. We're going to call this number 3. Okay, we're going to copy it over to the share. A little bit backwards and forwards, but as I say, you're seeing me use this live for the first time. I've never used this before. So this is a learning curve right here. Right, that's now posted. We got to go downstairs and correct the G-code, and then we're gonna run it and see how far we can get by 10 o'clock. And then I'm gonna have to shut the noisy stuff up because of being thoughtful of the neighbors. All right, let's go here, and then you're gonna hear me walk all the way. Okay. Right, and I'm back. And the mouse decides to whack me on the wrist. Thank you very much. All right. If we go here, let's open up file number 3. Okay. Yeah. Crack it out. this. Okay, I'll save this now. Okay, 3A. So we should look at the visualizer, and we've now starting with that hole there. Okay, so let's put the Z-axis at 50. XY at 0. Let's go again. Let's mute you guys and we're gonna hit it. Well, that wasn't what we wanted. That just dumped. What happened there? No! I sent the not updated file. What an absolute clown I am. Right, okay, actions. What do we want to do? We want a soft reset. We want to unlock. We're going to bring... We've got a burnt corner now. Well, that kind of sucks. Well, it bottomed out on the bed. It's just touching, so it's no big deal, right? We're gonna have a bit of a burn mark. Okay, we got 3A loaded. Right. Shall we try this again and again and again and again and again? Right, here we go. We've lost our Z height. We've lost our Z height, so we're going to have to... Right, okay, so I think we're gonna go X, go Y. I have to reset that. Okay. Third time's a charm. Okay. we lost the height.
Thank you.
Okay, for some reason, I keep nudging the emergency stop button. I don't quite know how I did it because I didn't even feel touching the emergency stop. So it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear that we're not going to get through this tonight. I'm going to literally have to wrap it up because of the amount of noise this machine makes. I need to be considerate to my neighbors around me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a soft reset. Machine. Soft reset and unlock. I'm going to take the Z to 50 millimeters. Pull it out of the work. We're going to set it back to XY0. Okay, and now I'm going to push the machine the bed a bit so you can have a look, albeit from a extended view. What we've actually got. So we've got a nice flat surface here, and we've got almost 4 holes, and the tool that this is going to... Have I been on the wrong scene this whole time? So we got a nice flat bed. We got the makings of 4 holes, and essentially the tools that I made this for drop straight in. We've got material at the bottom, so we haven't bottomed out at any of the holes, so that's good. Yeah, so that's... Yeah. Felt like that one was a bit proud, but it's not. Good. It's good. So... Yeah, it was an E-stop. It was an E-stop. I'm leaning up against the emergency stop without realizing it, because the E-stop is pressed. The E-stop is pressed. So I must have touched it, but I didn't even feel it. So, I mean, this is where having the machine set up in a really much. But we've demonstrated on a couple of occasions now that the emergency stop works. So from a safety perspective, that's good. So I'll show you the machine moving. I'll park it back in XY0 Z50, because then when I start, I can shut this all down and I can zero everything out. I can, before I turn the machine on from the motor side of things, before I power it, and set that XY0 Z50, and then we're up to snuff and we can just run the job again. But this is really good because we know why the G-code was bombing out. Yes, we caused it to bomb out, but yeah, it's a big deal. We'll have to hope that the plunged at XY0 gets taken out in the contour. I think most of it will be, but a 3D print cover? What do you mean for dust? Yeah, we could do, but I think probably a dust shoe is probably in order here. The other thing I'm concerned about is how hot this router's getting. I mean, it's not really rated to be run continuously the way we're doing it, right? So, but long live the spindle. Got to get the spindle. So the VFD, I need to get a VFD for the spindle. And then I mean, here's the spin. Let me just grab it. It's a 50 watt water-cooled spindle. Turn that off because I just spilt some liquid on it. Some liquid in. But yeah, that's the spindle. So I just got to get a controller for it to be able to use it. So. Right, give me one moment. We'll just wrap everything up here, and then we'll pop back upstairs. Okay, understood. Okay, so let's start looking at doing a recap of what we've done this evening. While we haven't hit the goal of getting a working piece out of the material that we were working on, we have had some significant improvements. Let's have a look. So, we have successfully modeled something in Fusion 360 and done a series of toolpaths that we've been able to send to the machine. I mean, that in its own right is a pretty big win. And we can probably start looking at producing some things a little bit more interesting than, you know, just a name. I want to get this box finished. Once it is, I'm probably going to be looking at getting some ball end mills, and then once I've got the ball end mill, I'll be able to do some 3D contour stuff. That's going to be nice because I'll be able to do like roughing passes and then get a nice round over bit, a nice ball end bit to go over it and make it really nice and smooth. So I've got some plans for some videos for this machine, making some bits and pieces. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. So I'm not sure how many people we've had in this evening. Let's have a quick look. We've had a decent amount. So are there any questions that you guys want to ask right now? one of the things I'm going to definitely need to sort out if I'm going to be working in the laser shed is a little bit more, being a bit more aware of the scene that I'm on. Possibly getting a big screen down there so I can have a look. Not here for once. That's funny. So I'm working up to be able to mill aluminium on this machine. The machine is, I feel, capable of cutting aluminium as long as I get the right feeds and speeds. Chris, I mean, I've got a video. If you have a, of course I've got a video. If you have a look in my videos, there's making PCBs at home, and there's a video on me making a PCB for Carol, who's currently in chat. She made a book nook, and I made a motherboard for an Arduino lighting control system that she put together. Yeah, understood. So, yeah, I mean, it's not all encompassing, but one of the things that you need to be careful about with using Fusion is that unless you're paying for a commercial license, or you've got the educational license, which you're probably on the fringes of if you use it for commercial purposes, you may run into some challenges. I'm currently learning KiCad, which I understand I'm going to be able to get my circuit designs, create the Gerber files, and then use an application called FlatCam to create the G-code files. And then I should be able to route my own PCBs on the machine that we were working on tonight. So that kind of excites me in the sense that I'm not going to have to wait for PCBs to be made in China to have them shipped here. Easy EDA, yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I've heard of that. But I do like KiCad. There's Pulse 3D on Instagram. He has designed his own smartwatch in KiCad using a Pt3 module, and it's pretty slick. I gotta be fair. Carol just heard her name. Hello, it's me. Right then, guys. So I think I'm going to call it there. I will post some pictures of the results on my Instagram. Obviously, you guys have not really had a close-up view. You've seen the G-code executing, but you couldn't get in to see the machine running. So I think for future live streams, depending on, irrespective of platform, I'll probably look to get the camera into a more suitable location. Yeah, you need to let me know when that PCB is ready to use, because I gotta let you know the pin out, because it's not very well documented on the board. So I'd hate for things to go wrong. But yeah, for sure. So what we'll do, we'll wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and if you're not already part of the Discord, feel free to join the Discord. There should be a link in my banner of my YouTube channel. Possibly. It's more a case of length of USB cable is the problem. That's the big issue. Either that, or I set up my smartphone as a camera for like when I do live streams on the go. But I'll figure that offline. I'm not going to do that here on stream. So I'm going to leave you guys on a high note. I think there's, albeit the work is in progress, there's a lot of good to take away. There's not really much in the way of negative to take away. A couple of bits of frustration around the G-code. But other than that, we did really well. Oh, I did really well in terms of trying to pick it up and learn it. So until next time, have fun, be safe, make something cool, and I will catch you in the next video. Good night, everyone.